Parents play a critical role when it comes to teaching their kids smart money habits. What if you don't know your habits are questionable? That's the thing. Welcome to Money Hacks, a podcast series by the Business Times, where we explore useful financial tips to help you on your money managing and wealth growing journey. I'm Howie Lim. And if you have feedback or an idea for a podcast episode, do get in touch, btpodcasts@sph.com.sg. Joining us today, Dawn Sher. She's an author, also founder of SG Budget Babe. She's also a mom. And Janice C., a Junior Achievement Worldwide or JA Singapore volunteer, and she teaches financial literacy in schools. Janice and Dawn, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
So the first question would be, I feel, we know it's important to start teaching kids the importance of money at a young age. How young? And how to start even? Let's start with Janice.
All right. So I would say that kids are very inquisitive. So the time to start is as and when they start to talk and they start to understand things. So in terms of how to teach, I would say that it is through our daily lives. Perhaps you go and buy an apple and you can share with the kid, this is an apple and we don't get an apple for free. And this is how we need to pay for an apple and what's the reason behind the payment for the apple. So as young as they start to understand, it's a fundamental life skill.
Really? Dawn, that early, you reckon? Did you start teaching your children? They are still under 10, I believe.
Yeah, my kids are 4 and 7.
Yeah.
I started teaching the elder one when he was somewhere around 3 or 4, because that was when I could start to see that he could understand numbers and was getting a grasp of what was happening around him. And my younger one, at 2.5, he could already start to pick up on things that we were saying. So when I teach the brother, he's actually listening. And there's also a study that shows that for kids, a lot of their formative money habits actually kicked in by the time they are age 7. So for parents who are thinking of putting it off, I would say don't. Start as soon as you can, but really through demonstration in your daily life, like what Jenny's mentioned.
So there has to be a sort of sit down, have a talk about it type of situation, you reckon? Because the only thing I picked up from my mom was money's not going to bite you when it's in your pocket. Best to keep it under the mattress. The most I've picked up from my parents, to be honest. So beyond modeling, is there a sit-down talk? Is there a structure to doing it, Dawn?
I think if you're talking about young kids, sitting down doesn't really help.
Yeah.
So I have 2 sons, they're very active and they don't take too well to these, come here, mommy wants to tell you something kind of talks. But it's more of as we are at the supermarket, I give them, hey, you have a task. You need to find this and you need to make sure that it is less than $10. Or you need to find, can you challenge yourself to find a lower price alternative to this? It's these things that makes them excited. And that's where they are actually learning, but they don't realize that it's a lesson plan that we've actually done for them.
Janice, your situation is a little different. You teach financial literacy in schools. How does it go for you then? What are sort of the playful and creative ways you can go about teaching kids about being smart with money?
All right. So for JA, the lessons they teach is that it's very hands-on. And I totally agree with Dawn. As kids, we can't get attention, sitting down, listen to me. They will just be doing something else. So the more important thing is that how do we engage them through activities? An example would be, I'll just go home and look at the fridge. I would guess that the fridge cost me $200. So homework, go home and check with your parents. How much did they buy the fridge for? And that is where they realize that, that's the differences. And in school, we also give them this little money box, I would say. They fold it and then they put the money in. So this is where they feel the money. And then they really understand what is really money, and that engages them in terms of the financial literacy.
Jen, it's funny you should mention that these days transactions are mostly digital, so it's no longer about saving the coins in the piggy bank. And do you think that makes it harder or easier for kids to learn because they don't know that they can touch money and can see money, and money is actually still ephemeral?
Personally, I find it more difficult now as a parent because when we were growing up, we literally were being given cash of our allowance, and seeing it disappear was a reminder that it's finite. But today, my kids think that everything can be solved with the credit card, or increasingly, mom's phone, right? So when we run out, or we'll be there and I'll say like, oh no, mommy doesn't have money to pay for this, remember? Because I just bought you your lunch and you saw the receipt, it was $30. They'll be like, no, but you can just tap your card. Or daddy has the card as well. Or you can just use your phone. Give me your phone, I can do it. So they think that it's magic. And I have to actually educate them that money doesn't come from nowhere. Like I have to actually work for it. And it's a lot of, I would say, nagging sometimes to remind them and continuously tell them that mommy needs to go to work. I have to be away from you. Why? Because I'm actually working to make money. And that's how it then ends up in the card or in the phone. But because they don't see it, I have to repeat many times in order for the lesson to really sink in.
Okay. Janice, Dawn has mentioned that under 10 might be too young to learn about compounding. What do you think?
I would say that sometimes we underestimate the kids' learning capability. In schools, when we teach lessons, we find that, we think that, hey, is it too difficult? And within a short time, we're very amazed that kids actually understand. In fact, nowadays, in school, it's no longer talking about earn, save, donate. They are talking about investment. Yes.
How young? How old?
It's about 11. Yeah. So I went to teach in the class. Usually we have lessons, videos being played, which is earn, save, donate, spend. And I was saying that, what about how do you earn money? One way is to invest. It's amazing, isn't it? At the age of 11, they're really telling me investment.
Do you think they picked it up from modeling? Because it's not just about what you say to kids, that they'll figure out money. It is also watching you, modeling you, the behaviors and emotional reactions from adults. What do you think, Dawn?
I hold a different view, not because I think the kids are too young to learn, but because when it comes to financial concepts, some concepts take time and character. And you need a period of time for this character to develop. So I would rather focus on the basics and then let the later stage concepts come into their life when the foundation has been laid well. I definitely want my kids to learn how to invest, and I've been investing for them as well. But do they need to learn it now? My view as a parent is no, because I want to focus the limited time that I have on teaching them on the key foundations, because get that right and everything else will come in easily. But if they learn how to invest, I'm worried they might think, oh, money is easy. I can make money grow, right? And I'm like, I want you to invest in your studies, in yourself, in your career, in your character growth. That is more important than learning how to make money, grow money when you are this young.
What have you observed about the parents, though? Do they come to you with, here is my kid, make them Donald Trump or something in terms of money?
I don't deal so much with parents in school in that sense, but what the feeling that the kids give me is that, if I need money, I just tell mommy, my card will be top up. And then how much do you save? I don't know. I just pass all my ang pao money and my money that I receive to my parents, and then they will save for me. So if you want to buy a birthday gift, so what do? Oh, I just tell mommy, my card will be filled.
So would you say in your observation, most parents aren't like Dawn is, starting to teach her child and her children the basics about money and saving and what you can do with it and how you should think about delayed gratification, etc. In that sense, parents aren't pulling their weight, right?
Yes. I would say that because of the upbringing of the parents, perhaps like what you mentioned is kept under the mattress. All right. So
hey, my money's safe there.
But it's not growing.
True.
So it is more of money topic in some family is like a hush-hush conversation. No, I just don't want to talk about it. And sometimes when kids know about it is when the parents are quarreling about money. And that is a very bad experience to know from, because they don't understand. It's just that, oh, my parents are crying because the investments are not working well. And then what is it that we can, the parents can do in terms of giving the kids more earlier, or opening up to them and being including them into the money conversation?
When though? When's good to open up about the family's financial situation?
I would say that will depends on the kids. Different children grow at different ages, but what we can start with, with young children, is that to know that, hey, for money, what is money for? And where does money come from? I have people not from trees, but from government. Right, that's the new trend. Not from trees, but from the government. We print. Government print money.
I also wanted to bring up something you said at the beginning of this episode, which is the parents are in charge of teaching their kids. But what if the parents themselves don't know what are the right habits? And this is very real, because in my line of work, I deal a lot with readers and audiences who tell me that, hey, I make X amount of money, but I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. And I am shocked. Like, you're high income and paycheck to paycheck. You're worried about retirement because you didn't save during all those years when you were making a 6-figure income. You're actually doing well, but you're telling me that you're struggling. Why? And then you learn that they make poor spending habits, poor money decisions. They, for instance, to save a smaller amount, they give up the bigger food, right? These are things that come about not because they don't have knowledge. They could just ChatGPT it or any other AI tool and ask, right? But the fact that even if they get the knowledge or they ask for people for advice, they are the ones who make the decision, and it's the wrong decision. So how then do these parents, or how can we expect these parents to teach the next generation what's right? So in trying to do that, that's why I wrote my book, which is really addressing what are the basics and foundations and the mindset. Because once you have that right, and then you will learn and figure out what's important for you to teach
Who's
your
supposed to be
kids.
reading this? The parents.
The parents.
The parents, okay.
Yes.
Janice, are you seeing other common mistakes parents make when it comes to sort of modeling and instilling those good habits in kids?
I would say that because nowadays parents are working, so there is this tendency of rewarding because of you did something, because you get a good results, and also because I'm not spending time with you, so I'm compensating money, so you get whatever you want. I think that is it's a bit of misalignment in terms of financial literacy and the purpose behind. So are the children really understanding the value of money, or are they just chasing after the money, or is it under fear that because mommy says that if I don't perform well, I'm not going to get my allowance, I'm not going for my holiday, I'm not going to certain places. So what is the knowledge or the skills that is instilled in them? Is it fear, or is it a proper way that we're saying that cost and value? A very recent case I saw in a hawker center. I was sitting at a table, and this mommy and son came to share table with me. And then she was asking the son, I think it's around 12, 13 years old, son, you go around walk around the hawker center and look at what food you like to eat, take a picture and show it to me, and I'll buy it for you. And the son came back, and he did not take any photo. He just told Mom, I didn't take any photo, but the cheapest is the chicken rice. So the mommy went to buy the chicken rice, but the mommy didn't buy the cheapest chicken rice, the normal, but the mommy bought the more premium set. So what is it that the mommy is teaching? Is it the cost that's important, or is it the value of the meal that is important?
If you had a tip then for parents, just the one, we're running out of time, what would that be, Janice?
I would say that it is bringing the kids, to environment like what Dawn has been mentioning, to let them experience, let them know what is the decision habit that mommy, daddy makes, the people around them? I purchased this and because of this value. And this could be more expensive compared to this, but I'm getting this because this is better for you. And what is it in it that is better for you? Rather than just a cost.
I think the biggest job that we have to do now as parents, and sometimes this also involves reparenting ourselves and our own money habits, is to really work on the spending part of things and keeping within a budget. And if that foundation is not set right, which honestly, I feel even for my generation, a lot of us didn't learn these very well when we were young. And that's why we see stories of people overspending, getting into debt, buying branded things even though they know they can't afford it because you could put it on a buy now, pay later so you don't feel the pain. As a parent, I want to teach my kid not just about the foundation skills that we talked about earlier on, but also on recognizing these signs. That a sale or a 50% off doesn't mean it's a good deal. It doesn't mean that you have to buy it because do you really need that item? And being very deliberate about, like what Jenny said, not topping up that cart. The kid needs to learn that it is finite, putting them in control of that budget and letting them experience the pain of it. I try not to be too harsh on my kids when they make the spending decisions that I highly disagree with because I feel they need to learn these mistakes now. The cost of these mistakes while they learn it with me and at home is going to be a lot lower than if they were to learn it by themselves outside. I need them to learn this while they're still under my care so that next time when you go out there, you're going to make the right decisions and not land yourself into financial trouble.
Dawn, I wish we had more time, Janice, as well. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
This has been Money Hacks by the Business Times. I'm Howie Lim.